What was it like being on Dragon's Den? I get asked that question a lot. And for our friends south of the border, Dragon's Den is like the Shark Tank north of the border here in Canada. Before I get into the details of what a unique experience it was, let me give you a bit of a backstory as to how I got there. A few years ago, my dad approached me and he said, "Son, when we go away on vacation, whenever we pack up our rods, the tips get broken, everything, all the gear gets tangled up. It's a big giant mess. Your rods get tangled with each other." And I said, "Well, yeah, of course." And he says, "I think I've got an invention that can prevent that from happening again." So I said, "Okay, let's see." I go over and he shows me a prototype. I'll see if I can throw up a picture of it here. And I said, "Dad, this is really cool. I think this could work." So we tried it out on a few rods and it worked. And I said to him, a couple of minor changes on this thing. And I think we can even not only protect the tips and avoid the tangle, we can go hands-free. So long story short, we develop our final prototype. I, with my phone, film like a mock, really crude video because we were going to send this off to fishing rod manufacturers and see if they're interested. So we did that in his driveway. We sent it off, and within a few days, we got a response back from one of the biggest rod manufacturers in the world. They're a household name. And they said, "We're interested. We want to sell this on your behalf. Are you interested in a royalty agreement or a licensing deal?" And we're like, "Oh my God, yeah, of course. This is amazing." And so we got the deal, and a few weeks before we were going to market with our production-ready Rod Caddy, which, by the way, I should probably show you what it is. Here it is. I'll show you a little bit more in a minute. My dad's diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and within a couple of weeks, we lost him. He passed. So as his partner, I took over the business, and the guy I was dealing with at this huge company, he left the entire industry, fishing industry. And so for 3 years, we had an agreement where the company that I was working with or partnered with, we didn't really see eye to eye on what the marketing of this thing should be. I thought we could really promote it, help promote. We were in the stores at Cabela's, Sale, a lot of the big box stores, but they weren't promoting it, and especially the way that I saw fit. Like, we could have some fun with this and get the word out. So at the end of the 3 years, I decide I'm going to take over the business on my own. It was with the encouragement of my wife. She says, "Before you go on your own, you've always kind of thought about Dragon's Den. What do you think about going for it?" I said, "No, it makes me sick." The idea of going on TV, I don't want to be on TV. It's terrifying. And I'm okay with risk. Like, I've been skydiving a few times. I like having fun, but that just terrified me, the idea of it. And the more I thought about it, I thought, you know what, she's right. Let me go for it. So I send in an audition tape. And a few months go by and no one's getting back to me. I'm like, okay, I guess, I'm doing it on my own. Then I get an email saying, "We got your video. We're interested in an audition." So then I go through a second kind of video audition with one of the producers. And it was the second or third, she says, "Hey, how would you feel, or how would your dad feel knowing that you're going on to Dragon's Den?" And I was like, "Oh, you think that's cool?" "Wait, what? I'm going on?" And I just burst into tears. I couldn't help it. So the big day comes. You've got 30 seconds to rehearse. It's called an elevator pitch. 30 seconds, you go out and you give your best performance that you can, explaining what this product is in 30 seconds. And then after that, you're on your own. So for 2 or 3 months, I rehearsed religiously the 30-second elevator pitch. I had it down. The day comes, you drive to Toronto. I unpack all my gear. I lug it all up. And it's not what I thought it would be. Like, it's a lot more kind of industrial, where you're hanging out. You're in like an 8x10 room where you can just rehearse your stuff before you go on. There's monitors, you can see who's on, and so finally my time came up, and the doors open up. You walk through all this really dark kind of backstage atmosphere, and then all of a sudden you're there in front of the dragons, and there's not a shadow in the studio. It's the most beautiful studio. They're done to the nines. The colors, like, TV doesn't do it justice, honestly. I walk up to my mark, and all the cameras have to focus in on you, so we're not really having the conversation yet, but it's terrifying. You're standing in front of these dragons that I've watched on TV for years, and I'm a fan of the show, and now they're all just staring at you. I go back. The director says, "Okay, Stu, it's time to go." So out I go, and I give my 30-second elevator pitch, and after that, it's game on. So there's nothing scripted. We haven't discussed it before. And for about 45 minutes, we went back and forth, back and forth. They asked questions about numbers, volumes, costs, how it came to be. And in the end, they cut it down to about 7 minutes, from 45 minutes to 7, where in the end, I didn't get a deal on national TV. So that was great. But they kind of framed it like this nice guy from Amherstburg, and I can live with that, right? It could have been a lot worse. None of them were anglers, so I'm not sure if they really got the concept, but I came home thinking, okay, well, I'm going to take a different approach. And I had to sign a non-disclosure, so I couldn't tell anybody about, what I'd been through until after it aired. After it aired, it was awesome because I got a call from a guy who says, I want to partner with you. I know about this, Rod Caddy. I've been kind of watching in the background, and I know the success that you've had with your dad with the other big company. And this guy ended up being my dad's neighbor. So I go on national TV looking for a dragon, and it turns out that my partner was in my dad's backyard, well, side yard, I guess, specifically. And so together, the two of us are taking this product. We're going it alone on our own. We're not going retail yet. We're just going direct on our site. Here again is the product called the Rod Caddy. Adjustable straps right over your shoulder. But just to talk one last bit about Dragon's Den, it was the most surreal experience of my life. It was super duper stressful, but it led to something truly great down the road. So I guess the takeaway here is I want to tell a story about a really, really great man with a great product, and a story about even if you're terrified sometimes, you can do it. Face them, and you never know what the outcome is, right? You never know what lays down the road. So anyways, thanks for listening to this. It's a bit long-winded, but I appreciate it. For more information on our product, check it out, therodcaddy.com. Thanks.